10 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 10 more days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock. And now that song will be stuck in your head throughout this entire review. This is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which is the third Halloween movie, but is not a sequel to Halloween 2, despite the film's name. Instead, this is its own movie altogether, has nothing to do with the Michael Myers storyline. Instead, this focuses on a mega corporation that wants to bring Halloween back to its sacrificial roots by creating a bunch of Halloween store masks, sell them to all the kids, and pretty much kill them on Halloween night as a sacrifice. Yeah, that's a pretty fucked up idea when you get right down to it. So this is one of those cases where being a fan of an internet personality really pays off. I'm a big fan of Cinemassacre, and I loved the Monster Madness series. And it was through Cinemassacre's Monster Madness where I discovered all the history and little details about all these horror series. And if it wasn't for watching Monster Madness, I would have never in a million years guessed that Halloween 3 was not a sequel to Halloween 2. So if you remember the ending to Halloween 2, Michael Myers was blown to smithereens and was pretty much burning to a crisp. So what John Carpenter decided to do instead is try to take the series in a different direction and make each film an anthology film and just pretty much have the entire series be about different Halloween-themed events. And that sounds like a really cool concept. John Carpenter didn't write this movie, he was just a producer on it with Deborah Hill, because he was off making a little movie known as The Thing, which was a much better choice than sticking with the Halloween series. So this movie comes out in 1982, and people hated it when it came out. Not because it was a bad movie, not because it was poorly made, not because it was something different. Well, actually, that is the reason. Everyone hated this movie because Michael Myers was nowhere to be seen. And I honestly can't blame them. I mean, let me talk about the movie first before I get back to this little subject here, because I saw this movie on Blu-ray for the first time, knowing that it was its own movie. And when I saw it for the first time, I was just kind of iffy on it. I'm like, yeah, it's not as bad as people make it out to be, but I didn't think it was that good. That completely changed once I rewatched this movie again on Blu-ray for this review, and I was like, this movie is actually a lot better than I remember it. And I know it's kind of cliche to say because as time goes on, Halloween 3 has gotten a lot of love for its inventiveness. And that's the ultimate selling point for me. It's a very inventive Halloween movie. It has its own creepy atmosphere to it. It's not about a serial killer going around killing people for no reason, except that he's pure evil. It's a movie about consumerism, how people can be sucked into corporations and the products that they sell, only to realize that corporations are evil. It really is not subtle at all in terms of its commentary against consumerism and corporations, but it's effective. It leads to some really creepy moments. I mean, when the movie gets really violent and kills kids, it's grotesque, and the movie just doesn't kill kids. The masks the kids wear pretty much melt their faces, and from the little holes in the mask, once the kids are dead, come spiders, insects, snakes, all this grotesque stuff. And you're watching it going, okay, this movie's not afraid to take chances at all. It once again has another great synthesizer score by John Carpenter and Alan Howarth, the same composer who also did the score with John Carpenter in Halloween 2. It's not as memorable as the last two scores for the Halloween movies, but it's still effective in setting the atmosphere, especially with the opening scene. The Chariot of the Pumpkins score, the main titles, and then, of course, the one we all know, the one that we can't get out of our heads, the horror equivalent to It's a Small World, Silver Shamrock. That song is so addicting. It will be stuck in your head for the entire Halloween season. But at the same time, I love how everyone circulates this song around social media. On Halloween night, you cannot go anywhere on Facebook or Twitter without somebody posting the Silver Shamrock song. Wow, try saying that 3 times fast. Silver Shamrock song, Silver Shamrock song. That didn't work at all. Yeah, moving on. If I had any issues with it, it's that some of the acting is a bit subpar. I mean, the main characters aren't too bad, but there's some secondary actors who aren't very good. There's and sometimes take me out of the movie. And the villain is just really nothing all that special. When you get right down to it, it's just a greedy businessman. But I like how he's not really obsessed with money like so many other greedy businessmen. He really is psychotic about killing these kids and sacrificing them. But at the same time, his mannerisms are still very gentlemanly and corporate-like. Kind of cliche to me, although I do love it that when he gets killed, he pretty much admires the main character for foiling his plans. And just right before he gets killed, he looks up to the main character and goes, sort of like, respect. And then he dies. I also like how the ending is very open-ended and really plays into the idea of how money will win over anything, really. I know, I just mentioned that the main villain doesn't really care about money. He just cares about killing off these kids. But the main character pretty much calls every TV station to get the commercial off so the kids won't watch it. And he manages to succeed with 2 stations, but the third one just flat out refuses to take it off the air, and then the movie just cuts to credits. We don't know if they took it off the air or not. We don't know if the kids got killed or what exactly happened. But just like with the ending of the first Halloween, it leaves you with a really creepy feeling and just makes you really uncomfortable. It's not as effective as the ending in the first Halloween, but it is definitely effective in its own way. Now, Halloween 3 is definitely a lot better than I thought it was. It's ultimately a good movie, but it's really not great. I don't see this movie as being super amazing because there are a few flaws. Like I mentioned, some subpar acting, and sometimes it can get a little slow, but it's still inventive in its idea. Now, what about the people back then who criticized this movie or hated it just because there was no Michael Myers? In normal situations, I would be like, you stupid morons, just can't accept something for what it is. But I get it, because the filmmakers really screwed the pooch with this one, because the movie's named Halloween 3. They made the mistake of making a Halloween 2 that had Michael Myers in it. So once you get past the second movie, with the third one, you're fully expecting Michael Myers to make a full return, and when he doesn't, that will confuse people, and I get it. If this movie was called Season of the Witch and not Halloween 3, then it probably would have been better received at the time. But it makes me wonder, if the Halloween series had continued as an anthology series, how would they have named each of the movies so you could know that they were part of the same series? Would they have done something like Season of the Witch, a Halloween story, or Tales from Halloween Night, Season of the Witch? I don't know. It would have been interesting to see how the series would continue on as an anthology series. But alas, people complained about Michael Myers not being in it, so that led into the next movie we're going to talk about, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I'll talk about that movie tomorrow, so now I want to hear what you guys have to say. What are your thoughts on Halloween 3 Season of the Witch? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Would you have liked to see the Halloween series go in an anthology route rather than just doing Michael Myers over and over again? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and of course leave a comment. Don't forget to support my Patreon page, follow me on social media, and until next time, this is the Real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.